Welcome back to another jaw-dropping compilation of car crashes and near misses. Today, we're diving into a series of heart-pounding moments that showcase just how unpredictable the road can be. From daring maneuvers gone wrong to unexpected impacts, these clips highlight the importance of staying alert behind the wheel. Buckle up and join us as we explore these intense driving incidents that remind us all to drive cautiously and responsibly. In this clip, watch as this driver loses control and crashes into a car and then an electric pole. Oh dear! There must have been something very wrong with the car or the driver. Scary how quick these things happen. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. There's a saying that goes, good drivers sometimes miss their exit. Bad drivers never do. The driver should understand that you can't take everything too seriously. Let's crash rewind this. Oh, well, those guardrails did an amazing job though. It was pretty reckless of the driver, but thankfully he was okay. Watch as a driver makes a split-second decision to swerve and avoid a head-on crash, only to end up T-boning a semi. Fortunately, despite the intense maneuver, there were no serious injuries. When I see drivers pulling maneuvers like this, it makes me wonder where the cops are when you actually need them. Instead of handing out tickets for going 1 mile over the speed limit, maybe they should focus on the real danger on the roads. Well, it's safe to say that VW Passat did not pass at a very good time. Certainly not for the driver of the front tip dumper. This red truck clips out a red Camaro. It's like a clash of the titans. It's like a color-coordinated collision, just not the kind anyone wants to experience. While this incident didn't result in a full-blown crash, it highlights the importance of keeping a safe distance and being aware of your surroundings. Even a sideswipe can be a costly reminder to drive cautiously. Watch as a drunk driver takes a detour off a cliff in Hawaii. Talk about a wild ride. This one definitely went off the rails. Thankfully, the driver survived, but let's all remember, no good comes from drinking and driving. This motorcyclist gets hit and runs into a hit-and-run situation. The reckless driver didn't stick around to face the consequences, leaving the motorcyclist to deal with the aftermath. Let's crash rewind this. Oh my, poor guy. Hit and runs are never the right way to handle a situation. While it's fortunate that the motorcyclist was okay, this serves as a stark reminder of the importance of taking responsibility for your actions on the road. This driver just had to push for that extra bit of lead, only to end up crashing in the end. Guess the thrill of being ahead wasn't worth the crash. Sometimes the urge to get ahead can lead to disastrous results. Up next from Florida, watch as two drivers crash into each other. It's like a meetup of Dumb and Dumber at an intersection. Considering this took place in Florida, I'm not surprised by the way this crash happened. Intersections are tricky places, and reckless decisions only make them more dangerous. This one looks like a case of, I thought I hit the brake, not the accelerator. Thankfully, no one was injured in this incident, but it's clear that the driver's bank account is going to take a hit. Watch as the driver exits their car, which is trapped in a pileup on an icy road and narrowly escapes being hit by an oncoming lorry. Talk about a close call. Let's crash rewind this. God, that was close. Despite the harrowing situation, it's a relief that the driver made it out safely. Must have been a frightening experience. Stay safe out there and be prepared for the unexpected. What? Did they just assume if I go slowly and smoothly, they'll see me and stop? Looks like the driver went with an optimistic attitude, which was just gonna turn left and hope for the best. Not sure what's going on here, but it's safe to say the people involved are really upset with the driver. The chaos is almost hard to believe. Regardless of the exact details, this situation is a stark reminder of how things are so unpredictable. Let's all remember to stay calm and considerate, and hopefully avoid creating such chaos ourselves. Do you have any insights into what happened here? Share your thoughts in the comments below. This clip, coming from Florida once again, shows a driver causing a commotion in a parking lot. Looks like someone might have been drinking a bit too much during the day. Getting arrested might actually be the best thing that happened to this driver. At least she didn't risk her life or the lives of others any further. Sometimes a wake-up call is necessary to avoid more serious consequences. Well, this driver created a whole light show with their driving, crashing into the poles like that. Check out these multiple angles. It's safe to say the neighbor is now without electricity and might be a bit upset with the driver. Remember, reckless driving can have far-reaching consequences beyond just the crash itself. Drive responsibly and keep the lights on for everyone. Seems like the driver either had to grab a quick bite or was really hungry. Regardless of the reason, breaking the traffic signal isn't justified. You have to see this to believe it. A car loses a tire, which then gets flung into the air, causing the other vehicle to flip over multiple times. It's a wild ride that's hard to even imagine. Let's crash rewind this. Oh my, this scene looks straight out of a Final Destination movie. It appears there was a wheel bearing failure on the truck. It's a harrowing sight, but thankfully no one was seriously injured. Watch as, amid this chaotic pileup, this passenger manages to escape from the car just moments before a lorry slams into it. Talk about luck! Sometimes, luck plays a big role in avoiding disaster. However, it's essential to remember that safety should always be a priority. Even in such fortunate escapes, staying alert and cautious can make all the difference. Here's a wild one: uncontrollable acceleration in reverse. Whoever made that car's rear window needs a raise. 9 times out of 10, those windows usually shatter on impact, and that one surprisingly survived. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. Check out this intense clip where a motorcycle starts shaking uncontrollably before the inevitable crash. The rider had plenty of warning signs. Speeding through such red flags can lead to severe consequences, so it's always best to prioritize safety and address any issues promptly. Looks like the Chevy driver didn't get the memo about keeping a safe distance, rear-ending the Bentley Flying Spur and causing quite a commotion. Another incident in the books to remind us to always keep a safe distance, folks. Why did the driver not take a hint from the car in front? Sometimes it pays to be a little more observant. They're lucky they didn't get sucked into the sinkhole dimension. Thankfully, the damage was only to the vehicle. Watch as this driver gets what's coming to him for disregarding everyone's safety and putting lives at risk. Sometimes you really aren't the main character in all this. Instead, you're just being reckless. Why do I have a feeling this driver volunteered to be a crash dummy for an experiment gone wrong? Let's remember to slow down and pay extra attention to our surroundings. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a new rocket from SpaceX? No, it's just your local gasoline truck deciding to drive recklessly and launch itself into the sky. Sometimes, reality can be stranger than fiction. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. In this video, an attempted car theft is thwarted by a locked steering wheel. Even if the thief had managed to start the car, steering would have been impossible. After all, roads aren't just straight. Crashing into multiple cars and endangering lives. Despite the reckless actions, you have to admire the sheer determination, though it certainly wasn't directed in the right way. Yikes! This car tries to dodge an oncoming vehicle at the intersection, but ends up crashing into the barrier and flipping over. It's clear that the white car is largely to blame here. Even though there was no direct contact, its maneuvering forced the other car into a dangerous situation, and to top it off, it just drove away. Fortunately, the driver wasn't seriously injured. Watch as a driver blows through a red light and crashes into the recorder. The driver's reckless decision led to a violent crash, flipping the car multiple times. It's a peaceful Sunday, and then someone under the influence decides to shatter the tranquility by causing a chaotic scene in the neighborhood. It's a stark reminder that reckless behavior not only disrupts peace, but also endangers lives. When there's smoke, there's often something suspicious going on. Watch as this driver ventures into the haze, unaware that what awaits ahead is a chaotic pileup of cars. Look at that! A clear reminder that staying alert and cautious on the road can prevent unexpected disasters. Thankfully, the driver was okay. This is my nightmare scenario, stranded in the middle of a dark, busy freeway with cars zipping by on both sides. Not one of these drivers decided it was the right time to turn on their hazard lights after the collision? Seems like a missed opportunity to avoid further mishaps. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured. Another day, another red light runner causing chaos. It's astounding how some drivers still don't get the message. Red means stop. Thankfully, everyone's okay, but the incidents don't change the fact that traffic lights are there for you to be able to drive safely and to avoid being a nuisance to others. See kids, this is why you put on seatbelts. Looks like this isn't his first smash with the unpainted wing and bumper on his car. It seems the dog is okay, but the driver only walked away with a headache. Thankfully, that's all. Careless driving is never worth the risk. Look, Mom, I'm doing a hospital. Let's crash rewind this. A Attempting risky stunts in an unprofessional environment and then crashing into another vehicle? That's just reckless behavior. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. Watch as this car crashes in thick fog on a Hungarian highway. That's a prime example of why it's crucial to slow down during low visibility conditions on the highway. Just look at this mess. A stark reminder of how crucial it is to drive cautiously in low visibility conditions. I mean, if you see a dense fog, just slow down. You never know what comes next. Well, this vacation to Monaco will be one to remember for the driver after that little crash spin. Thankfully, the driver will only need an aspirin for the headache, and minimal damage will be paid to the state. This stray tire rolls down the highway, narrowly missing other vehicles before smashing into a car in the opposite lane. A tense moment turned dangerous, reminding us of the unpredictability of the road. Luckily, the tire didn't cause more chaos and everyone was okay. That's a terrifying scene for pedestrians, coming so close to an out-of-control speeding BMW that crashed into parked cars. Fortunately, no one was hurt in this terrifying incident, and the damage remained minimal. This truck bed just slams into an overpass. Oh dear! How did the truck driver not notice that his bed was unsecured while speeding? It raises the question of whether this was a case of gross negligence or something more deliberate. What do you all think? Oh no, this moped driver collided with the Lamborghini. Let's crash rewind this. What a devastating impact. While the crash didn't cause any harm to the moped driver, it's clear that the real pain will be felt by his insurance company. That was incredibly close. We've got to give props to the driver for managing to control their car amidst the SUV driver's Wild West driving. Let's crash rewind this. Even with such impressive control, damage was still inflicted on both cars. The SUV driver's sheer carelessness could have been avoided, but fortunately, no one was seriously injured. Watch as this biker comes inches from dodging the unthinkable. That was as close as it could have gotten. It's astonishing how narrowly the biker avoided a disaster. I'm so glad the outcome was as good as it was. This road rage incident is quite unique. The trucker in front blinds the driver behind with their lights to prevent them from passing. Those lights are pretty darn bright. I can hardly stand looking at them on the screen. It must be even more blinding and frustrating in person. Who do you think was at fault here? Jeez, that driver ran the red light and just slammed into the car. He almost appeared out of nowhere. This video convinced me to get a dash cam for my car. You never know when you'll need one for insurance purposes and everything else. It's better to be prepared and have clear evidence in case of unexpected incidents. This SUV tries to overcorrect after hitting a patch of ice. Hopefully it's not too cold in the snow and the heater's running, because that driver is going to be stuck for a while. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Man, a T-bone wreck gives me the creeps. The sheer force and sudden impact are unsettling to see. The driver just got dragged along. At this point, I think everyone driving should have a dash cam. The number of uneducated drivers is alarmingly high, and having clear evidence can be crucial in case of incidents. What was that driver thinking? It looks like he built up speed to pass the truck, then changed his mind and lost control. The driver was probably thinking, a light rear-end collision might not ruin someone's day, right? Why can't folks just use the middle pedal, the brake, in between the three pedals? It's not that hard. It stops your car. What even happened here? It looks like the impatient BMW driver lost traction after trying to overtake the car in front. Sheer incompetence and impatience, especially when combined with being behind a sports car, often lead to disastrous outcomes. Thankfully, everyone was okay. What a reckless move. I just don't understand how anyone can do anything other than pay full attention to the 3,000+ pound machine they're commanding. Thankfully, the Civic driver didn't cause much damage, just a disruption to everyone's day. Let's just call that driver big truck, small brains. He clearly had no self-awareness and didn't consider that there were other people driving alongside him on the highway. Watch this video where you'll see a dangerous combination of excessive speed and a snow-covered surface. Folks, understand this. If it's snowy and the weather is bad, we don't speed. It's just common sense. It's safe to bet that the driver thought, if I don't see the light, it's probably not red. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured in that chaos. This road rage escalated quickly. The driver rear-ended the car in front of him and then just drove off. Rear-ending another vehicle and fleeing the scene not only shows a lack of responsibility, but also increases the risk for everyone involved. It's a reminder of the importance of staying calm behind the wheel and handling conflicts in a safe, lawful manner. This cop decided to chase the red light runners, but instead he got flipped over by another car coming through the intersection. It's a scene that feels like it's straight out of a comedy movie. Let's crash rewind this. Oh dear, it's like something out of a slapstick movie, though the real-life consequences remind us that traffic safety is no laughing matter. Let's all try to avoid turning our commutes into a sitcom. This motorcycle driver decided to mess around with the cop car by putting a sticker on it. Just a few seconds later, he got an instant dose of karma. Being a menace on the road can have consequences one way or another. Thankfully, the motorcycle driver was okay. Watch as a dog off the leash collides with a motorcycle driver, causing a dramatic and unfortunate landing. Thankfully, the dog didn't hop on and speed off with the motorcycle driver. At least that part of the situation was avoided. This motorcycle speeds off and rear-ends another car as the rider loses control of their speed. That could have been much worse if he hadn't been wearing a helmet. The car never even hit the brakes. I'd bet $1 million they were texting. The damage looks severe, but we've got to give props to the car's body for absorbing the impact. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. Well, that beautiful Mustang is definitely totaled now. If you get yourself a fine sports car, make sure your driving skills are up to par before attempting such reckless maneuvers. This is a perfect example of play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Pretty sure someone's farm just got ruined by this unnecessary behavior. Watch as this Chinese automatic car fails to use its automatic brakes and rear-ends another vehicle. Looks like we might need another decade or two before we fully transition to self-driving cars. Thankfully, everyone was okay. Here's another case of irresponsible dog ownership. This time, a dog off the leash crashes into a moped driver. Allowing a dog off the leash in areas where it can run into traffic not only endangers the animal, but also poses significant risks to others, like the moped driver in this case. Believe it or not, this driver crashes into a motorcycle rider due to road rage. That car driver definitely needs some serious anger management control. This next clip comes from Bulgaria, where bad road conditions, poor weather, and speeding led to circumstances like this one. Well, that BMW was clearly at fault by the looks of it. This incident serves as a crucial reminder of how vital it is to drive responsibly, especially in adverse conditions. This taxi driver gets caught in the middle of a police chase as a speeding car rear-ends it. That impact looks intense. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured, but sometimes we end up caught in someone else's mess. Hopefully, the taxi driver was compensated properly and was able to get back to work quickly. Jeez, that was nothing short of a jump scare. Let's crash rewind this. The sheer luck with which the recorder's car dodged the rear-ended SUV is incredible. Oh dear, that could have been much worse. Thankfully, everyone was okay. Well, it looks like this truck driver wanted to play a game of knock knock, who's there with his truck. I don't think the driver who got rear-ended found the comedy very amusing. Hopefully, the truck driver who played the Joker was fined for his poor jokes. This next clip comes from Saudi Arabia and shows a driver attempting a drifting stunt that ends horribly wrong. Another reminder of the risks involved with such unorthodox maneuvers, which leave everyone on the road at risk. What on earth was the biker doing? It looks like he was lost in his thoughts, with his subconscious doing the riding for him. Well, that crash certainly gave him a wake-up call. This driver loses control of his vehicle, causing it to roll down the hill.
I'm fucking dead!
Poor guy. Thankfully, the outcome wasn't as dire as he might have predicted, and he made it out unscathed. If you enjoyed these clips, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Which moment caught your eye? Drop a comment below to let us know. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And thanks for sticking with us till the end. Remember to drive safely, and we'll see you in the next video.